The crowd roars for Federer, and Djokovic tunes out the noise. Wimbledon, England, yes, Novak Djokovic stared down the deepest of holes in a championship match for the ages on centre court on Sunday, coming back after Roger Federer held 2 match points while serving for the title. And, yes, Djokovic did indeed emerge victorious, 7-6, 5, 1-6, 7-6, 4, 4-6, 13-12, 3, in the longest Wimbledon singles final, and the first to end in a 5th-set tiebreaker with the score tied at 12-12. But amid all the marveling about the tense moments and the miraculous shots, it shouldn't be overlooked that the vast majority of center court fans frothed for Federer from the first ball to the last. Crowds always respond to him with that kind of backing, but the nearly existential fervor is only growing as he continues to challenge for major titles at 37. "Let's go Roger. And come on, Roger, you can do it, Roger," echoed so loudly and with such strident urgency that it is probably still ringing through the Wimbledon air. Mark Stein's newsletter. Mark Stein has covered Jordan. He's covered Kobe. And LeBron versus the Warriors. Go behind the NBA's curtain with basketball's foremost expert. When Federer at long last pushed the match to the brink, gaining a match point as he served at 8-7 in the 5th set, the crowd seemed ready to shake center court to its studs. But Djokovic simply would not back down. It was a mental feat as much as a physical one. This match showed vividly what separates Djokovic from the pack. Once again he proved that, when it comes to guts and gumption, when it comes to pure ability to handle crunch time, he is as unwavering as any player in tennis history. "It was probably the most demanding match I was ever part of," he said. "Mentally, this was a different level." Djokovic noted that he had come prepared. He'd visualized maintaining a state of inner steadiness, prepped himself to face the pro-Federer frenzy. "One thing that I promised myself coming onto the court today," he said, "was that I need to stay calm and composed. I knew that the atmosphere will be as it was." You could sense what Djokovic would face 2 hours before the final, when fans lined up underneath an overhead walkway that leads from the players' lounge to center court, hoping to catch even a glimpse of tennis royalty. "He just walked past us, he did," one man in the crowd said. "Roger. Never mind that actual royalty, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, were in attendance Sunday. When the championship match began, it was beautiful to watch. The aggressive Federer and the counter-punching, never give an inch Djokovic were reminiscent of Ali against Frazier. There were drop volleys that spun low at seemingly impossible angles. There were screaming ground strokes that touched the lines. There was Djokovic, still standing after being bludgeoned, particularly in a 6-1 second set loss in which he looked out of sorts. Djokovic had a smattering of supporters. Among them were his family, coaches and friends, who sat in one small corner of the court. There were others, though not many. A woman sat at another corner, with a printout of the flag of Serbia, Djokovic's homeland, in her hand. She rose with it on occasion after he won points, chanting his name. Since the start of the 2011 season, Djokovic has been the dominant force in men's tennis, even in the context of the Big Three. He holds a 21-10 record over Nadal in the past 9 seasons. When last they played in a Grand Slam final, at the Australian Open in January, Djokovic painted a masterpiece, winning 6-3, 6-2, 6-3, in just over 2 hours. Including this match, his record against Federer in that span is just as imposing, 29. Still, the records don't count when it comes to public sentiment. Nadal and Federer are beloved. Djokovic, before this match and even after it, is simply respected, albeit deeply so. His head-to-head record against Federer now includes 3 wins in the Wimbledon final, where Federer has claimed a record 8 men's titles. It also includes 3 memorable wins at the United States Open, saving match points in the 2010 and 2011 semi-finals and winning the 2015 final. Unlike the atmosphere at that final in New York, where the fevered, pro-Federer audience verged on boorish, the crowd here did not seethe with nastiness. The spectators were polite to him, granting him applause throughout, though it was often muted, restrained and grudging. When he made an error, there was applause. When Federer made an error, there were groans. Of course, if you have the majority of the crowd on your side, it helps, it gives you motivation, it gives you strength, it gives you energy, Djokovic said. When you don't, then you have to find it within. In the final set, Federer seemed weary. But with the crowd urging him on, he edged ahead, breaking Djokovic with a cross-court forehand pass. History was about to be made. Another title was about to be won by Federer, his 9th at Wimbledon, which would have tied Martina Navratilovan's record. The crowd went apoplectic. One man could be heard yelling to no one in particular, and to everyone, "Oh my God, we are going to see him win. Roger is going to win." There it was again. Bedlam in the stands. And the chants, "Roger. Roger. Roger." After the match, Djokovic revealed some of the secrets behind his will to win. He said he had a mental trick. "When the crowd is chanting Roger, I hear Novak," he said, before flashing a smile. "It sounds silly, but it is like that. I try to convince myself that it's like that." Federer went up 40-15 and had his 2 match points. On the second, he pressed forward. Djokovic took 2 solid strides to his right and rocketed a dipping forehand pass for a winner. 2 points later, he evened the match. They would play 8 more games and then a winner-take-all tiebreaker. Djokovic won when Federer shanked a forehand that fell well out. Oftentimes, when he wins a big match, Djokovic makes a display of thanking the crowd by turning to each side of the court and blowing kisses and making gestures that show his love. On Sunday, when the end finally came, there was none of that. He stood in the center of the court, looking out the crowd, stoic and satisfied. It was clear he'd beaten 2 opponents,